Hello, hello, hello. So, today, I guess I'm trying to be an honorary Southerner, right? Because I'm already making butter beans, and now look what's on the menu for later. Leigh's been after me about, let's go to Charleston. Well, I love Charleston. We're going to go down there. But one of those favorite Southern dishes that we always have down there is a little pecan pie. So I'm going to make my own. Believe it or not, it uses salted butter and light brown sugar. Now, I'm going to use chopped pecans, and I'll tell you why. When you cut into that slice, if they're chopped, it's going to be easier to get the knife through. Otherwise, if you've got a bunch of whole pecans, when you slide that knife through, those pecans aren't going to cut right away, and they're going to just sink right to the bottom. So this is going to make it easier to slice. 3 eggs, some vanilla extract, and believe it or not, this is important, this dark corn syrup. Notice also that it's got no high fructose corn sweetener, which to me sounds shady. Okay, so that's all for the filling. Now, this pan that you see, because I like to cheat, is it's a tart pan, okay? It's got a false bottom. And instead of using a 9-inch, I don't have a 9-inch tart pan, I have an 8-inch tart pan. That's fine. If there's a little bit of extra filling, we'll do something else with it. And I'm going to make a lovely pie dough that's going to fill the bottom of this pan. And it's going to be called the pâte brisée with sugar. So it's going to be a sweet crust with a sweet filling. But it's not an overly sweet crust. So the first thing that needs to happen, because I don't want to make the filling for the pecan pie yet, the first thing that needs to happen is I need to make the pie dough. After the pie dough is ready to be rolled out and I roll it out into the pan, then we'll go ahead and make the filling and then put it all together. And then guess what? Here's the bonus. The bonus round is, because it is hot outside, we're not going to be baking it in the oven. We're going to be baking it in our brand new air fryer oven. So that means we're not going to heat up the house. It's going to take up less space, and this little guy fits in there perfectly. So let's get started. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start making the filling for the pecan pie. This is 3/4 cup of light brown sugar. Bring it into focus. And this is 1 cup of this corn syrup, which is interesting that it's got no high fructose corn sweeteners. I don't understand how that works, right? Because it's corn syrup. I don't know. I'm going to have to read up on that and get back to you. We'll circle back to that. All right. So that's it. 1 cup. Now what we're going to do is melt that. I'm going to put that on the stove and melt it. And then in the meantime, we're going to beat these eggs and incorporate a cup of the pecans into that mixture. And then we're going to assemble all this stuff in a logical sequence. You ready? Okay. So here are the 3 eggs. I'm just going to beat them lightly. Right. That's probably good enough. That's good enough. Okay, and then I'm going to put a cup of pecans into that egg mixture. This is why I love my scale. You see it says ½ pound, about 2 cups. So this is 8 ounces of pecans, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weigh them out. Okay. So there's it's 8 1/8. Okay, so a little more than 8 ounces. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start filling up my cup. And there you go. So that's about half. Well, I'll take away a little bit. That's about half. Okay, so that's about, and it actually looks like a full cup. So pretty cool, right? All right, so I'm gonna put the rest of those pecans back in the bag for now. Okay, so here they are. The pecans and the nuts are together. And of course, I'm missing my spoon. That's okay, I'll go get one. All right, I'm just gonna mix them together, right? Just gonna mix it together, the nuts and the eggs. Okay, now, I'll just put that spoon in for now. Okay, so while that's happening, I'm waiting on the syrup to cool. Let me show you. So I put this on the stove and you see how it melted, and it happened very quicker than I expected. So now I'm gonna let this cool for at least 10 minutes, and then we're gonna start incorporating everything. Got it? Okay, so now I'm letting the syrup cool. I've got my nuts mixed in with my egg. I'm gonna roll out that dough now, right? Just gonna sprinkle down a little bit of flour so that nothing sticks to the bench. Open this nice disc up, and you see how nice it looks, right? Okay, and I'm hoping that I don't have to rework it at all. That's what I'm hoping. So I'm gonna just try to, remember I want it to fit here. So I'm gonna just try to very slowly and carefully start rolling. And I'm hoping, see how there's cracks on the edges? That's okay, because I could probably mold them back together. I think I pushed a little bit too hard there. I don't want to rush this process. I should go a little slower, right? Go a little slower. I want to try to keep it as round as possible. Because I want to make sure that I just use it in one shot. I don't want it broken in the middle. Okay, let's see. Oh, looks like it's big enough, right? And I want to keep the dough, a little bit thick like that. Yep, I think we're perfect. Good. Okay, so let's see how we can do this without breaking. Can I just pick it up and put it in without even rolling it around the... Well, you know what? Let's play it safe. Let's play it safe, shall we? Okay. I want to make sure that it fits in there. So I could probably shift it to the side a little bit. And make sure it fits in there. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. And see, there's no cracks in the dough. Now, watch this neat little trick. Ready? Perfect. Okay. All right, so I want to make sure that this dough remains intact perfectly. So what I'm going to do is throw this pie tin, this tart pan, into the fridge, let it firm up a bit. And these scraps, I can make, if there's a little bit of extra, I might make like a mini, what do you call it? What are we making here? I forgot already. Pecan pie, yes, a mini pecan pie. Okay, cool. Okay, so it's still warm, still pretty hot, but it's cooled off for about 10 minutes. I'm going to take, I'm going to measure it here, 3 tablespoons. That's 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of salted butter. It's interesting, right? I never cook with salted butter. Oh boy, I thought I had opened this before. And a teaspoon of vanilla. Mix that up. So this is the brown sugar and the corn syrup and the butter. And we're just going to get that all blended. And then we're going to add this to the egg and nut mixture. And then we're going to put it in the pie shell and bake it. So after I get this mixed, I'm going to go ahead and start preheating the oven. And like I said, the really cool thing we're going to do today, look at the color of that. It's interesting, isn't it? We're going to use the air fryer. So by using the air fryer, we're not going to heat the house up. It's going to be awesome. All right, let me stop this. Okay, so now you see I've got the sugar mixture and I've got the egg and the pecans. Sugar mixture is not too hot, so I should be able to put this into the egg mixture without curdling the eggs. That's always a concern, right? So while I'm doing that, let me stop the flow of this and go get my spatula so I can get it all mixed together. Yep. I'll pause that video for a second and go get my spatula. Okay, I want to get the rest of that sugar mixture. Let's see if I could do it where I'm facing the camera. That would be good. And wow, that's sticky. So here's the other thing I discovered. I did not realize that the corn syrup is really not that sweet. So that's interesting. It adds a certain kind of thickness and depth of character. It's almost like a molasses. So that's pretty cool. I did not know that. Did not know that. But you know, I'm learning how to become a Southerner. So I'm thinking maybe we're going to move there. So we need to blend. Right? Okay. So that looks lovely. And now I'm going to go fill that tart with this. And if there's any left over, that's fine. I can probably make a mini one. That's mixed nice and okay. Let's go get that tart and fill it up. Okay, here we go. Let's see if it all fits or if I have to do it. I don't want it to overflow, so I'm just going to let it settle. I think it's going to all fit. Let's see. Yeah, looks like it's all gonna fit. We're not overflowing. Awesome. Oh, I love it when it works out. Okay, be right back. Okay, so what you see before you is the air fryer basket. And what I'm going to do is put a piece of parchment in the bottom of the basket and then place this tart inside there without spilling. Cool. And now I'm going to put that in the air fryer and bake it for 30 minutes at 375. And then we're going to adjust the temperature and bake it some more. Okay, so we're looking inside, but you see I've got a little parchment paper blocking the view. So we're not going to be able to see what that thing looks like from the outside here. But about 20 minutes in, I'm just going to check the crust, make sure I'm not burning anything. I might have to cover it. You never know, right? So we're going to take care of all the things that you normally do when you're baking a pie. Okay, here. See it? It's at 200. Perfect. Time to take it out. Okay, so there it is. Now I did pop a couple of holes in it to test the temperature. I'm not happy about that. Also, it did puff up. That should collapse as it cools. I've got to let this set now for 2 hours. So, oh, and I'm doing this upside down, aren't I? Isn't that interesting? So, after 2 hours, we can actually taste it. Get a picture. Okay, so here it is after I took it out of the tin and put it on a dish. And now we're going to cut it very shortly. And here's a cut slice. Doesn't that look luscious? And I got to tell you, this is the best pecan pie I've ever tasted.